A couple of weeks ago, my teenage son told me that I needed to review a Xiaomi air fryer. According to him, Xiaomi is a really cool brand and they make a lot of innovative electronics. I literally had a presentation on it, but I still wasn't convinced. So he did a poll on the channel and nearly 300 of you voted in it. 83% of you saying that my son was right, which, you know, he's barely mentioned since. So I ordered this 10-litre dual drawer air fryer, which it turns out is actually pretty good. But there are a couple of things about the design that I don't love. And I also came across one problem which you will probably spot for yourself as the video progresses. So let's have a look at it. It's an asymmetric air fryer, and at 10 litres, it's midway between the other asymmetric models which I've reviewed on this channel. The Philips 3000 and 5000 are both 9-litre capacity, and the Tefal Easy Fry is 11 litres. The idea with these models with two different size drawers is that the larger drawer, which in this case with the Xiaomi is 6.5 litres, gives you the flexibility to cook big joints of meat, do batch cooking, or cook tray bakes or cakes in bigger dishes. Whilst the smaller drawer, which is 3.5 litres on the Xiaomi, can be used for vegetables, cooking single portions, or even catering for someone who has a different dietary preference. And the option of big and small together should, in theory, give you more options than two equal-sized drawers. But in my experience, not everybody loves this kind of setup, and I'll be interested to see after this goes live what you all think in the comments. Some things about this Xiaomi are more conventional. It has the usual setup of presets, 9 of them in this case, for fries, chicken, steak, fish, vegetables, pizza, cake, dried fruit, and reheat, and the option to cook on just the manual setting. The maximum temperature for this model is 230 Celsius and the lowest is 40 Celsius, which is one of the wider temperature ranges that you get on air fryers, and it's going to mean that you have more flexibility. If you're drying herbs, for instance, normally it's advised to do that at about 40 Celsius, and some people prefer having the higher top temperature to quickly crisp things up. However, it is worth noting that the maximum time that you can set this air fry for is 8 hours. That's always been enough for me when I dehydrate fruit, but I know that if you want to dehydrate certain things like grapes or fish, you may require a longer cooking program. If you're cooking 2 different dishes in the drawers that have different cooking times, you can use the Smart Finish option to ensure both drawers are ready at the same time. And there's also a built-in shake reminder on several of the programs which automatically beeps at different intervals. In the box with this air fryer, you get a rack included which fits in the larger drawer. This gives you the option to cook on 2 layers and increase your cooking capacity. If your air fryer that you already own comes without a rack, then there's normally the option to buy a third-party one. But because third-party sellers try and create racks that fit in as many models as possible, they aren't always a good fit. So personally, I prefer racks which come supplied with air fryers from the original manufacturer. The inside of the drawers and the crisper plates have a non-stick coating. The product page refers to it as a high temperature resistant metallic interior, but there's no further information on the chemical makeup of the non-stick coating. So if you are specifically looking for a PFAS-free model, I will link to some suggestions below, including a dual drawer model, which is about the same price as this one. 2 things with this model which I'm not keen on are the fact that when you remove one drawer, even if you aren't using that drawer to cook in, the other drawer will stop running. And that's frustrating if you want to add or remove things from one drawer midway through cooking, as it means the drawer that's running is going to be paused until both of them are clicked back into place. Secondly, personally, I think the beeps on this model are just too loud. If you're hard of hearing, the louder beeps might be something that you're looking for, but otherwise bear in mind that there is no way to adjust the volume or turn the beeping off. And for energy consumption, the Xiaomi used less than both of the smaller Philips asymmetric models, so should be cheaper to run. So cooking tests are next, but if you're new here and you like what you've seen so far, I would really appreciate the support if you can give the video a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. So the first food test in this air fryer, as it so often is, was a roast chicken. The 6.5 litre larger drawer feels really big, and you could happily fit a chicken in the drawer with some vegetables around it if you wanted. This was a 1.7 kilogram chicken, and I cooked it on my usual settings, which is 45 minutes at 180 Celsius. Next, I tried out cupcakes in a silicone muffin case, which just fitted inside the drawer. I used the recommended temperature in the manual, and they did come out with slightly uneven tops, which is often the result of cooking under the high-speed fan in air fryers. Dropping the temperature slightly usually fixes it, but in all honesty, with these particular ones, once they were out of the moulds, decorated with icing sugar and fruit, you couldn't tell the difference, and they were eaten pretty quickly. One of the advantages of having that 6.5 litre drawer is that you have a lot more surface area for pizzas. And although you will obviously never fit a family-sized pizza in it, you can reheat a couple of slices, cook a small single-serving pizza, or warm naans or garlic bread. The rack which is included gives you room to stack food on 2 layers while you are dehydrating and still get good air circulation. I got good results with these slices of strawberries dehydrated for 6 hours at 50 Celsius. Just be warned though that because the rack isn't non-stick, fruit will stick quite easily to it. Of course, chips are an air fryer favourite, so I tried out some frozen ones in the large drawer with asparagus at the same time in the smaller drawer. The chips were cooked in about 15 minutes and the asparagus cooked through in about 7 minutes on the vegetable preset. And I did 2 baked potatoes in the small drawer, cooking them in the microwave first and then making use of the higher temperature options on this model to crisp them up in 10 minutes before serving. So you've probably spotted by now the problem with this model, which is that it can be tricky to slide the smaller drawer back in. But after using it for a week, you do get used to it. And the key is to kind of line it up correctly, making sure you line it up on the right-hand side. Once you get into the habit of that, the problem does go away. If you want to check local prices for this air fryer in your country, you can either scan the QR code which is appearing on the screen or check the links in the description. I'll also drop links which will tell you the internal measurements of these drawers on this model and accessories that will fit inside. And finally, a big thank you to all my channel members for their support. Their names are appearing on the screen right now.